Section 148 of 15,000 Useful Phrases by Grenville Kleiser. L. Language is inadequate to voice my appreciation. Lastly, I do not understand. Lastly, it cannot be denied. Less than this could not be said. Lest I should be accused of quibbling. Let all of us labor in this work. Let any one imagine to himself. Let any one who doubts. Let every one consider. Let it be clearly understood, I repeat it. Let it be remembered. Let it not be objected. Let it not be supposed that I impute. Note: impute, relate to a particular cause or source. Let me add another thing. Let me add my final word. Let me add one other hint. Let me also say a word in regard. Let me answer these questions. Let me ask you to imagine. Let me ask your leave to propose. Let me be allowed to devote a few words. Let me call attention to another fact. Let me commend to you. Let me direct your attention now to. Let me entreat you to examine. Let me give one more instance. Let me give one parting word. Let me give you an illustration. Let me here make one remark. Let me here say. Let me hope that I have said enough. Let me illustrate again. Let me make myself distinctly understood. Let me make use of an illustration. Let me not be thought offensive. Let me now conclude with. Let me once more urge upon you. Let me protest against the manner. Let me quite temperately defend. Let me rather make the supposition. Let me say a practical word. Let me simply declare. Let me tell you an interesting reminiscence. Let me thank you once more. Let me urge you earnestly. Let no man congratulate himself. Let our conception be enlarged. Let our object be. Let that question be answered by. Let the facts be granted. Let these instances suffice. Let this be the record made. Let this inspire us with abhorrence of. Let us approach the subject from another side. Let us attempt a survey. Let us be perfectly just. Let us be quite practical. Let us bear perpetually in mind. Let us begin at the beginning. Let us begin by examining. Let us briefly review. Let us brush aside once for all. Let us cherish. Let us confirm our opinion. Let us consider for a moment. Let us devote ourselves. Let us discard all prejudice. Let us do all we can. Let us draw an illustration. Let us endeavor to understand. Let us enumerate. Let us figure to ourselves. Let us for the moment put aside. Let us get a clear understanding. Let us heed the voice. Let us hope and believe. Let us hope that future generations. Let us imitate. Let us inquire also. Let us labor and pray. Let us likewise remember. Let us look briefly at a few particulars. Let us look nearer home. Let us not be fearful. Let us not be misled. Let us not be misunderstood. Let us not flatter ourselves. Let us not for a moment forget. Let us not limit our view. Let us now apply the views presented. Let us now consider the characteristics. Let us now see the results. Let us now turn our consideration. Let us observe this analogy. Let us pass on to another fact. Let us pause a moment. Let us push the inquiry yet further. Let us rather listen to. Let us reflect how vain. Let us remember this. Let us remind ourselves. Let us resolve. Let us scrutinize the facts. Let us suppose, for argument's sake. Let us suppose the case to be. Let us take, for instance. Let us, then, be assured. Let us, then, be worthy of. Let us, therefore, say once for all. Let us try to form a mental picture. Let us turn to the contemplation of. Let your imagination realize. Like all citizens of high ideals. Likely enough. Little wonder, therefore. Long have I been convinced. Look at it in another way. Look at some of these questions. Look at the situation. M. Mainly, I believe, making allowances for differences of opinion, many of us have had the good fortune, many of you, perhaps, recollect. May I ask you to believe? May I not speak here? May I try to show that every effort, may I venture to suggest, may it not also be advanced, may the day come quickly, meantime it is encouraging to think, meanwhile let us freely recognize, men are in the habit of saying, men are telling us nowadays, men everywhere testify, more and more it is felt, more than once have I had to express, more than this need not be said. Moreover, I have insisted. Moreover, I would counsel you. Moreover, when we pass judgment, much has been said and written about. My appreciation has been quickened. My belief, therefore, is. My duty is to endeavor to show. My experience tells me. My first duty is to express to you. My friends, do you really believe? My friends, I propose. My heart tells me. My idea, therefore, is. My last criticism upon. My mind is not moved by. My mind most perfectly acquiesces. My next objection is. My own private opinion is. My present business is. My regret is intensified by the thought. End of Section 148. This recording is in the public domain.